What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Ra. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. He's from the DoD clan. His name is Shelty. It's currently 2-0 in this best of 5 series in the loser bracket for Shelty here. Shelty needs one more game to go on. Kimo needs one more loss to be kicked out of the tournament, and he's on his tournament game as it is. And we'll see if he can manage to swing things around. This is one of the special maps. This is called Arctic Craters, and we're just going to check it out. Turn the fog of war off. The interesting thing about this map is these craters here on these town centers. Every single one of these town centers is in a crater, including your hometown center. And what this does is, if you're at the top of the hill and you're firing projectiles down to the bottom of the hill, you get a bonus, an elevation bonus they call it. So your army will do a little bit more damage than the opponent's army of archers if they're shooting up versus down, which means sieging these locations from the top of these hills is incredibly strong. The other thing that's really important to note about these areas here is there's no resources around these town centers, but you can get some nice gold mines like back here and back here. Basically, there is just no resources, so early second town centers aren't as good. And not only that, there are no real trees that spawn inside the crater. So you have to go out to these ones, which means it's quite good for those aggressive gods such as Uranus or Odin, who can pressure the wood lines nicely. So we'll see if that comes into play here, as Shelty is going through Odin here as his god of choice versus the Ra of Kimo. Like a forest fire here, followed by sitting on this wood line, or this wood line can potentially prevent like Shadoof or Plow or something coming out. I mean, there is, what, 300 wood here, so you could possibly get it. And I guess Ra does not really need that much, but you see that Kimo has picked up the Ship of the Fingernails. Let's give yourself 24 free food a minute. The other relics on the map, we've got the Armor of Achilles, 5%. Infantry Hack Vulnerability, very good one for the Odin player here. Staff of Dionysus, plus 20 villager food carrier capacity. This one, some people really undervalue. It's one of the best food relics in the game because it basically cuts your walking distance time when you're gathering from your farms in half, or maybe not quite in half. So it's a big boost. Got the Pelt of Argus, plus 6 unit line of sight, not that good. Got the Boots of Kick Everything. Oh, this one's a brilliant relic for your Odin players here, because it makes your Ragnarok that much stronger. And Woven Calipers here, not the best relic for either player, but it does come in handy just a little bit. We've got the Skraeling running around here. We've got the early temple up for Shelty. Looking to go to that heroic age quite fast. I'm going to be scouting around, going for potentially a fast forest fire could be what he's going for, but Kimo's gone the early 2 woods here. We should be right. He's grabbing from boar as well. Some nice elk over here, but all this hunt is kind of difficult to grab. All the hunt is difficult to grab. You are playing Ra, and you do have 7 goat here. The monuments of the villagers coming up, got the temple coming up. And we do see the villagers on the back here grabbing all of that hunt. Has Shelty used his great hunt? He did use his great hunt. We are seeing Freya is incoming. And we're not seeing a classical age of Kimo yet because he doesn't have his temple up. He doesn't have his 400 food, so it's super early because you see the Skraeling going to be dealing a little bit of damage onto these villagers. They turn around, and Shelty, nice reactions there. Not only are you going to take one little jab there from both of those villagers. Really nice play. And we see the Raven just scouting out the map. And this Raven is going to be flying over on top of this forest here. He's going to see every single one of those forest lines. We'll see if this is a part of a point of contention here for Shelty, if he goes for these wood lines nicely or not. I'm interested to see how Kimo plays this one. The temple is up. Going to be putting his Ship of the Fingernails into this temple. It's basically, it says 24 food a minute, but it's basically the equivalent of having an unupgraded villager hunting with no walking time. So you basically get 24 food a minute, which is the same as a villager gathering from hunt every single minute of the game. So it's basically an extra villager, which feels good. And Shelty has hit the classical edge through Freya. No immediate forest fire here. Valkyrie is out. 3 Hearse are out. Not sure why they are sitting in the back of the base. I would have left 1 in the back of the base here and sent 2 forward. Maybe going for an early second town center. Sending the Raven over on top of this town center here. Just making sure he can keep an eye on that one. They've got a lot of villagers on gold right now. Potentially going to see a 1 town center play here from Kimo. I'd expect him to not go for this town center, but you do have 2 medium gold mines in your base, so it's not like you need to secure that second gold mine. You can basically guarantee that you're going to get a second gold mine just because you've got enough gold in your base. And we just see that Shelty, he's got his Valkyrie. He's taking a lot of free damage from this town center, just scouting around in the base. There we go. There's the forest fire. Oh, unlucky. Does not pick off this other villager, but does force these villagers back. Potentially going to grab this villager if he doesn't jump into the watchtower, and there he goes, or into the sentry tower, I should say. And there we go. We see the Pharaoh getting his range bonus there onto the Valkyrie as he hits the classical age tower. Villager's getting pulled off the gold mine, going to be moving over onto this town center, so he is going for it. But there's no army forward here for Shelty. If Shelty was on top of his game here, he probably could have just had one of these Hersa building up the longhouses here and potentially prevented this town center from going up. We do see the Valkyries in here, but Wadjet plus Pharaoh is enough to prevent this one from going up. We'll see what he does, if he responds to this with a second town center of his own, or if he just goes, all right, you have that one now. I'm going to put all the pressure onto this location here. Could easily take this location down if he has enough army here. He is pumping from 2 longhouses, making raiding cavalry, which I'm not that much of a fan of. Unless he's making Hersa as well, like he's going to be floating resources here. You can see he's got quite a few resources in the bank. But what it does mean is you can get that 3rd town center up pretty fast. And we are seeing the Pharaoh is going to get picked off here, which is huge. That's a big economic damage there. And he doesn't even lose any of the raiding cavalry. He does lose a Valkyrie, but those raiding cavalry will get back to full HP eventually. We are seeing an armory coming down for Kimo now. Dude, this is really... If Shelty noticed this... This watchtower here is not even protected by houses. He could mass up an army of raiding cavalry and just move in, take the watchtower down, and then gold starve. Like off of those home gold mines. And Kimo is wasting well, he's not wasting, but he's using all of his gold on farms at this point. You can see they're coming down everywhere. And there is the rain. And we do see that the villagers are gathering the wood from the straggler trees at this point. Raiding cavalry running around. What's he doing here? Is he still pumping out the cavalry? No, he's grabbing medium cavalry. Maybe going onto this location here. There is no crenellations either, so these raiding cavalry don't feel any pain. But Shelty, he's not doing anything with these raiding cavalry. I feel like he really could here. I know that if he goes to this, the villagers get pulled off the line, but that's kind of what you want. You want to be doing that damage. We see town center coming up here for Shelty. Taking the forward town center. Interesting. There's not a lot that's good about this town center. You can grab gold from here, I suppose. This back town center grabs gold from here. But losing villagers onto this town center, not going to be picking off anything there. Shelty, I'm not sure why you'd run your raiding cavalry through there. Just throwing away units for free. It's not what you want to see. Raven chilling in the corner here, maybe just sitting on hunt or something, but it's not the most interesting point of the game. We are seeing Hathors now coming through for Kimo, and at this point, Kimo is going to be getting exactly what he wants. He's going to go very, very boom heavy here. More houses coming up, and now the Raiders are deciding to make their move in. He just needs to kill off this watchtower here, and if he clicks on it, he's going to be really, really big. Villagers do get pulled off. They're trying to fight back, and yeah, Shelty's going to have to get out of there. But he's not making it easy on himself. There's the armory coming up, and yet again, Shelty he loves these 2 longhouses. I know he didn't want to build that many raiding cavalry, which is why he went 2 town centers. But looks like we're going to be seeing some sort of race to Ragnarok here, race to heroic age off of 2 town centers. You can see Shelty's food income's really high. Race to the heroic age off of 2 town centers. Spam the villagers, gets the frost, potentially go 3 or 4 town centers, grab a really big Ragnarok. And this is all going to come down to what Kimo can do. If Kimo can do some damage with the rock raids, and he should be okay. Should be okay here to deal with what Shelty's doing, because Shelty's made all of these raiders and not really done anything. He's got a nice back gold mine here. He can wall up. Chuck the Migdol Stronghold down on here as well. He should be okay. Kimo's got his Migdol Stronghold up in his base. What's he going to be building? Probably making out those cavalry. And we should see Shelty potentially swap into Olsak here, which is also another problem where I thought, I'm a bit confused as to why raiding cavalry here. There is a really nice wood line here for him, but yet again, he could just be raiding this. If Shelty had just been like, okay, my goal for this game is I'm going to go 2 barracks, Olsak, Lone Wanderer raids, and I'm just going to strangle wood. Then there's nothing, I mean, you force out Axemen there. And then you can transition into transition into the raiding cavalry after that. But you could really choke wood here and deal some real damage. We see the Pastusjos over here going to try and pick off these dwarves. Does not actually manage to get any here. And Herso's here greeting that guy. There we see Njord. Okay, I don't hate it. He's going to put some pressure onto this location. Potentially chucked up a hill fort right here. Give himself a retreat path here. Nice raid so far. We see Walking Woods comes down. This is going to be a really big attack. The Mountain Giant's really far away though. Looks like Shelty's going for a bit of an all-in here, which makes me confused because he went 2 town centers. It's like, why? All these cavalry are here. We see the walking snowy pines making their attack. Pharaoh got pulled back in here, and we're seeing Shelty realize potentially he's making a mistake here. Still no mountain giant into the fight here either. And we do see that the throwing axemen are going to be trying to use that elevated ground here as he's sieging away. They do a lot of extra damage, but all of these walking pines here are going to be feeling the pain. We do see that the Pastusjos on the back without the Herso getting targeted. Really poor micro from Shelty right here, and he's going to be throwing away a lot of this army right now. And Shelty, he still doesn't have that mountain giant in either, and all of this army is getting picked off. And Kimo's got to feel good about this one here. He's defended this push. He's defended the walking snowy pines. There is no Skadi, which means there's no frost giants, which means Kimo can now put some siege towers into his army, and there's not a lot of response here. I would have liked to see this attack with the mountain giant with a hill fort getting thrown up instead of before you cast the walking woods, or at least use the walking woods to get the hill fort up on top of the thing. Here we see Locust Swarm coming down. Picks up a couple of villages here, but not that many. Not that many at all. The Tubble Mountain Giants coming in could potentially take down the temple and take down some of the base of Kimo. The Pharaoh is kind of out of position. In fact, the Pharaoh does get picked off here. So these Mountain Giants are going to be doing a lot of damage here as they take down this temple. Look at that swing there. The special attack of Kimo takes this temple down very, very quickly. But the army of Kimo is just too much right now. And we're seeing what these Mountain Giants can do. But we've seen a lot of damage done to Shelty as he's decided to grab a gold mine incredibly far forward. And he's going to be pushed back here, and he's doing the damage, but we'll see. See what happens here. This priest does next to no damage to these mountain giants here. He's trying to take it down. The house is going to be doing it here. We got double priest and Pastusjos now. These mountain giants are going to fall pretty fast. Going to be pulling them back. And that's going to be very, very good for him. And here we go. Grabbing some chicken over here for some reason. He's got all of these elk. Because he's scared of the Pastusjos raids, but who knows? Pastusjos going to be flying out again. He does see that one. He spots it. Getting attacked by a fly at the moment. It's really annoying. All right. I think this is just kind of a battle against the clock right here. We're going to see Horus coming through for Kimo, and we're going to see, well, Kimo's trying to fight there. He probably shouldn't. This is a really big army. I'm not sure why Shelty's got all of these throwing axemen out here. Would have been better to make Huskal rather than the throwing axemen. Build like 5 Olsak as you advance to the heroic age. Build up a hill fort. He's still building. He's getting the market up, so maybe he's going to go for the Ragnarok here. How's his economy looking? Looks like he's going to be able to get to the Ragnarok here, which could be huge because the gold mines are all done here. He does have a nice gold mine in the back here, but the Ragnarok may be enough. We'll see. We'll see if it's enough. We have no barracks up though. Horus is incoming, but we just see a nice raid onto this location. But he's going to be throwing away this raiding cavalry, and the villagers get pulled off the line. They do have Skin of the Rhino. You do not pick them off fast at all. And we are going to be seeing Balder. Oh, he's going through Tyr. Why Tyr? This is super bizarre to me. This is like clearly a gold star map. And he's got a good army as well. And Kimo's probably got a lot of gold in the bank, but I don't know, man. I don't know. You're seeing him getting some raids over here as well. Horus comes through. He's going to get tornado on this location. He's going to get that a location taken from him. There it comes down. Village is getting picked off left, right, and center here. And Kimo is just so far in front right now. Does he cancel the tier? Nope, it's just going to keep going. Maybe he misclicked on it. This is looking super unfortunate for Shelty right now. All the villagers dying here as well, and the army of Kimo is huge. With that Avenger, the Norse army just will melt. If that Avenger gets on top of the throwing axeman or something, I mean, he doesn't even need to, but if it did, he'd just like absolutely melt this. These throwing axemen do like nothing to this army of Kimo here. You can see they're throwing their axes at these chariot archers, but they have like a 37% hack armor because he's got out some copper weapons and copper mail and copper weapons here. Town center now coming up for Kimo. Now we're a 1 town center Shelty here. Gonna have a tier incoming super soon, but we do see that the did you delete the rock? That's super weird. And there is the Thimble Winter. Some unlucky Thimble Winter spawns here, but the villagers don't have to come off because he's got the nice walls. If the Thimble Winter spawned over here, he'd lose all these villagers. But it's not going to happen. We see Armor of Achilles getting grabbed here. And again, sort of an unlucky Thimble Winter spawn over here as well. But there we go. Shelty does tap out after he realizes how far ahead Kimo is. GG, well played there by Shelty. I mean, by Kimo, sorry. Managing to deal with what Shelty had done. But I feel like this just came down to Shelty not really understanding the map. Not really understanding the strategy that he should be going for. Yeah, if Shelty had done the same attack he'd done, stayed 1 town center, right? Built the temple forward instead of in his base, done some attack damage with his Herser early. There's just so much stuff you can do with Norse, which I feel like a lot of Norse mains are neglecting. And he could have possibly taken this location out. And then gold starved over here, and then grabbed the town centers in the heroic age. I feel like this second town center, if he wanted to do this strategy, that is, like, it just seems like counterintuitive because you spend 700 resources on this town center. 700 resources is basically like a full pop army in that situation. And he could have like had a full pop army, had medium upgrades, had copper shields, cast Walking Woods here, and then the army of Kimo, which would not have been enough, and this location would have gone down. He could have grabbed it himself. Could have built a hill fort up the top here as well, or even he could have just waited on the attack until he had 130 pot. Could have been also an option, but he just went for it straight away. Did not have his mountain giant in the army either. Couldn't pick up the pharaoh, all of that stuff. Well, super unlucky there. Well, not unlucky, just kind of poor play there by Shelty. Kimo gets his first win, goes up to a 1 there. Now the momentum is in Kimo's favor. Will we see the reverse sweep, or will Shelty be able to stabilize his thought process and go into the next game and see if he can get a win there? If you've enjoyed this game, please rate, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like my videos and want to see them as soon as they come out. My name is Boit, and I will see you guys next time.